First of all, what did you learn that you didn't know by going to Israel, talking to everyone there? Well, first about the hostages and what the chances.
Yeah, I think the hostages was a big part of this. We met with the Minister of Defense and the Prime Minister, Netanyahu, but to find out that they're actually very close to a potential deal, particularly with women and children, to be able to get them out of Gaza. And it would entail a potential short ceasefire. But I think that was the most encouraging news we had. But when we met with Netanyahu, he started out with the Hamas video that showed the brutal killings of the Jewish people in the kibbutzes that we've both been to, and at the concert. Horrific video. We showed, Greg and I showed that to our members in the House yesterday morning. And Netanyahu actually teared up. I've never seen him teary-eyed, and then gave a very powerful, speech to us about what's going on with the war, how Israel is responding to it. It's like they're 9/11.
Congressman Meek, though, and I saw the video and I was sickened by it. That said, the U.S. said today and last night that that doesn't justify having a firefight, let's say, inside Al-Shifa, which could happen now. They were fighting. It was an engagement outside. They're now inside the hospital. That if innocent civilians have to be protected. It's a war crime to have Hamas under a hospital, period. But it's also a violation of the rules of engagement to endanger innocent civilians.
So what I think that is happening there is, when we talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu, when we talk to the Minister of Defense, is with the ground game, I think we could start to minimize the deaths of civilians. Because when you're on the ground, you're looking at your combatants face to face. And what's happening is, which no one is reporting and that we have found, is how Hamas is firing. They're jumping out of these tunnels from every place and firing on the IDF. And so by being on the ground, then the IDF can engage Hamas directly and then be able to get into those tunnels and show the world. I think the world needs to know that how Hamas has been operating, because this is really all about Hamas. All the deaths that you've seen with reference to, of course, the 1,400 Israelis that were killed, but what Hamas is even doing to the Palestinian people. They are shooting and trying to prevent them from leaving to get to a safe passage. And what we also learned was there, almost every day now, at least 3 to 4 hours, there's a passageway that's opened up to get Palestinians out, and there's about 1 million people now that have gotten out, and we need to, make sure that we open up and have more to get out. But we've got to get those hostages back first.
And we do hear from the other side that those evacuation routes are uncertain. Both sides, through creating obstacles, roads are blocked, and also that Israel is still insisting they won't give up. They won't agree to the 3-day pause to get the hostages out.
Well, I think they want to end this as soon as they can. They've been very slow and deliberate to circle Gaza City. The hospital is basically a military infrastructure using human shields, both their Palestinian civilians and the hostages in a hospital. This is how brutal they are, and no respect for life. And so they want to encircle it. When the tunnels, they run out of fuel, they have to come above ground. And at that point, they'll capture and kill Hamas, and then they will hopefully rescue hostages and innocent civilians.
Let me ask you about Chris Wray's warning, because you were at the Homeland, you're the former Homeland Chair. You were at the hearing today, and there is a strong warning from Chris Wray that there is a real threat to the U.S. homeland because of lone actors inspired by the violence on both sides.
I saw a lot of this when I chaired Homeland. It was the height of ISIS and the Caliphate. So you're looking at basically two vector threats. One is inspiration over the internet, and the other is potential Hamas or terrorists entering the United States. We have nearly 200 people that were apprehended who are on the terror watch list. In my hometown of Austin, we had an Austin police officer who was shot and killed this week by somebody on the terror watch list. This is a real threat, and it concerns me because when I chaired Homeland, just a handful of those on the terror watch list getting in or attempting to get in would get my attention, and now we have nearly 200. So we're looking at that threat that's inspired by Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran, but also the inspiration over the internet that is, if you go on the internet, and Greg and I have talked a lot about this, is the disinformation campaign. So if you type in Israel, Palestine, it's very pro Hamas. And that's because Iran and Russia and China, because a lot of this is on TikTok, are spreading this disinformation about the war.
Do you have evidence that they are already? I know the U.S. was looking for it.
Yes. And TikTok, we know, is controlled, the algorithms are controlled by China. And so they are clearly trying to conduct this disinformation
Targeting
campaign.
certain communities also,
Yeah.
To try to have that kind of influence on elections and other things. And so I think that there's various
Let me ask you both, because we're just about out of time, a quick yes, no. Is Israel and Ukraine going to get its money in a supplemental after the Christmas holiday break?
Yes.
Well, I definitely hope so. I know that we're locked and ready to go. We think we should have the funding for Israel, funding for Ukraine, funding for humanitarian purposes, and I think we also need funding for Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific.
And the border.
And the border.
We're in agreement.